Great. So happy to see you, and thank you very much for coming. I am Shirya Lee from the Department of Asian and Policy Study, and I'm very happy to be able to introduce this program to you, the Master of International Public Management and Administration, because this program has just been approved by the university a few days ago, and we have been planning for this program for more than a year. The initial planning started in 2019, and after all the discussion with our partner and support from our partner in Canada and here in the university, and after receiving a lot of supportive comments, we were finally able to come up with this program and getting it approved. So we have already completed all the approval. We have already acquired all the approval needed from the university of both sides, and now we are really able to present this program to you, the International Public Management and Administration. In the next 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I will briefly introduce the objective of this program and explain what or how you would benefit from this program if you were admitted to it. So this is not a usual public management program. We know that interest in public policy increased over the years, and there are quite a number of public policy programs and demand for public policy graduate in the market. But this is no usual public policy program. This is a unique and I would say premier public management program in the sense that it offers you a completely different experience that you probably have not experienced in the undergraduate level. It allows our students to complete the program in 1 year, receive 2 certificates, one from the Education University of Hong Kong and another from the University of Saskatchewan, which is one of the leading public policy schools in Canada. And within this 1 year, you will be traveling and studying in 3 countries, Canada, and then Hong Kong, China, and then eventually Thailand. So this is a very diverse experience for students, and a very packed schedule syllabus with a lot of new experience. So you will start learning in January and finish the program by December. So in the next few minutes, I would just talk about, it will give you more details of how this program was developed and how you would benefit from the program. So I said that this program is a premier public management program because of a number of reasons, really. Firstly, because of the content of the academic content. So you will be focusing on public policy analysis. As I said, the demand for public policy graduate has increased in the job market over the years, and interest in public policy has increased too. So if you look at different parts of the world, you will see more public policy program, more public policy schools, and also at the same time, more think tanks, more jobs that require students to have public policy training. So, so why is public policy getting so popular these days? One reason really because, for people who are working in the public or non-profit sector, I think the answer is obvious because they realize that engaging in public policy analysis is becoming increasingly professional. So you will have to learn not only the policy content, but also the context of policymaking, the process of policymaking, and stakeholder that you will have to engage with. And so in public policy training, you acquire the skills, not only the knowledge of the policies in different areas, but essentially how the communication skills that you will need to engage potential stakeholders, the leadership skills that you will need to play a leading role in your organization, the financial skills that you will need to know in managing the finance and the numbers in your organization. And more essentially, really, is the problem-solving skills that you know that you will need in order to solve complex problems in your organization. So I would say that, for people who are interested in public policy or who are interested in pursuing a career in the public and non-profit sector, knowing public policy, knowing how to analyze public policy is by itself very important. But even if you're not quite sure whether you really want to pursue a career in public policy or in the public sector, I can also see that you might still be interested in public policy training, because essentially public policy is a matter of problem solving. So essentially what policymakers are doing every day is really solving problems, solving very complex problems, interacting with people with very diverse interests, conflicting goals, and sometimes contradiction in values. And so learning how to tackle these conflicts and be able to maneuver in a complex society is really an essential skills that would benefit you not only in the public sector, but also in the private sector. In the private sector nowadays, more people realize the need to engage the government or maintain a good relationship with the public. So public policy training really is a popular subject nowadays because of its relevance to the job market and to many people's life. And of course, in this program, so therefore in public policy and by learning public policy analysis, you also develop your high order thinking skills. You learn how to solve problems in a very complex way. You identify the problem in a way that can communicate and in a way that make the problem manageable. These are all important skills. Now, of course, I said that this program really isn't just a usual public policy program, because usually a public policy program would be hosted in a particular university in a particular country. We think that, well, while you will still acquire meaningful experience under this setting, we think that in a globalized world, these limitations should be removed as far as possible. Because, well, yes, while you will benefit from lecturers or teachers or from students who are coming from very similar background, I think in the 21st century, we really want you to be exposed to different culture, to not only conceptually, but also physically. By placing our students in free university, in free countries, what we want really is that you learn how to get used to different experience quickly, different organization quickly, be able to maneuver different settings, different organizational settings within a rather short period of time. I'm saying a rather short period of time because we are packing everything into 1 year. So usually for a program that requires students to travel and study in free country, usually it would take more than a year. But in our program, we ensure we try to pack everything together within 1 year. So you will be able to explore different parts of the world within a very reasonable period of time. So this global perspective would be very beneficial, and I would say very unique in terms of program design and in terms of learning experience. It also, of course, grants you the cross-cultural and strategic communication skills that you can easily position yourself as a person who can navigate in different cultural setting and in different types of organization, which is also highly valued by employers today. So some of you might ask what is really, well, of course, by now, many of you would probably think that, well, this is a very interesting experience. But I would also want to highlight one more point one more benefit of traveling to free universities and getting 2 degrees by the end of the year from this program. So the main benefit really is that it gives you the mobility, not just during the time when you're in this program, but really after you graduate, you will enjoy mobility that is, unthinkable by students from other programs. You will receive, first of all, you will be traveling to different countries. So this experience is very unique, but also you will receive essentially 2 certificates, one from the University of Saskatchewan and another from Hong Kong, the Education University of Hong Kong. So for students, so this really gives you, multiple pathways. For example, if you want to develop your career in the East Asian region, then your certificate and network developed in Hong Kong would be very helpful. But it also opened the opportunity or possibility for you to develop your career after graduation in North America, where people usually will recognize a degree conferred by the University of Saskatchewan. And of course, during your time at Saskatchewan, you will also be able to develop your own network and connections there with the student body and with your potential members in employers in different sectors. So this is how we schedule your time when you are in the program. Again, as I said, this is a very, very packed program. So you really spend so not many people will spend, a year in 3 countries or in 2 continents. But here in this program, you will spend your spring semester in Canada. So you will start your program in Canada first. And then in the summer, you will come back to Hong Kong and study with us at the Education University of Hong Kong. In these 2, so the first 2 semesters really are for you to develop your essential skills. You will receive very intensive training in public policy, in management, in leadership, and in research method. Now, all these are important because in the 3rd semester, when we send you to Thailand, to our partner institution in Thailand, you will be essentially doing your consultancy project. The consultancy project is like your thesis, but we see it as an opportunity for you to solve problems. So we call it the consultancy project. And this capstone project or consultancy project really is really crystallize what you learn in the program in the first half of the year and apply your skills and knowledge to solve a real world problem. And eventually you will present your findings, your suggestions and solutions to relevant stakeholders by the end of the year. So you can imagine that by the end of the year, we will all gather in Thailand to celebrate your achievement throughout the year. So, and you will be traveling with your classmates and some of your teachers throughout the years to experience different parts of the world. So this is a very dynamic experience, a very fruitful experience, and a very productive year for you to experience. So here is here I provide more details in terms of the distribution of credits between the 3 semesters. As I said, this is a very packed program. So in the first 2 semesters, basically you will be taking 10 courses. In the first semester, when you were at the University of Saskatchewan, you take 3 credit-bearing courses with 2 non-credit-bearing courses, which I'm going to introduce to you very soon. And then in the second semester, you take another 5 credit-bearing courses. And then in semester 3, you take 2 credit-bearing courses, but that 2 credit-bearing courses essentially are your consultancy project, or what we call the capstone project. And in your capstone project, you apply your skills, you work in a team with a classmate that you should know very well by then, and produce a work that is of value to the industry, to the real world together. And so you will be spending a very lovely semester, final semester in Thailand, and engage and experience South Asia, as well as the culture and the student and teachers there. All right, so here is a description, a list of courses that you will need to take in different semester. In the first semester, as I said, you will see the courses. You will see that we carefully select the courses to reflect different political and economic contexts of the different countries involved in this program. So, for example, in the first semester, when you were studying in Canada, you will study ethical leadership and democracy in public services. You will learn how problems and policy are made problems are solved and problems and policy are made in a democratic context. I will highlight in particular, the long credit bearing course seminar series, JSGS 990. That is a very unique courses. It doesn't bear any doesn't carry any credit, but it is a compulsory courses. You have to go to, it basically requires you to go to regular seminars from time to time. It's a very nicely designed course because the public policy school in Canada will invite leaders, practitioners in different sectors to deliver seminars regularly. And so by joining these seminars, you get inspired about the problems in the world, about solutions to potential problems. And most importantly, you might be able to actually make connections in the seminars with those speakers or participants. So the seminar series will offer you a very nice opportunity to get to know people in Canada, but also to develop your own idea for the research projects. Then after studying for a semester in Canada, you will travel to Hong Kong in the summer. Summer in Hong Kong is a very nice time, very hot, but it's a very sunny, very, like energetic time. So you will be studying on the campus of the Education University of Hong Kong, and you will be going through training that expose you to the particular situation and context in Asia. So you will learn strategic communication, in which you will learn theories of communication, but also supported by illustrated by examples in Asia. You will learn public administration and management in Asia. And then you will also strengthen, for those of you who are very interested in leadership, you will also be able to you will also be allowed to take course in leadership and organizational change. Or for those of you who are interested in non-governmental sector or social policy, you may choose to take courses like comparative social policy in Asia. So this summer will give you an Asian perspective, which will complement very nicely with your study in Canada when you actually learn about how policy are made in a democratic or Western context. So this combination of East and West experience will eventually accumulate into your capstone, or what we call placement or consultancy project in Thailand. So actually you will form a team in your first semester in Canada. You will be developing your research idea for the consultancy project or placement project throughout your first and second semester. But then in the last semester, we want you to experience Thailand and be able to concentrate to write up your proposal, to write up your whole consultancy project. So we divide it into two phases in Thailand. Basically, you will be supervised by one of our colleagues, either in Hong Kong or in Canada, or either from Hong Kong or Canada, in a research or consultancy project. So by the time when you travel to Thailand, we expect that you have already got the data, because you start thinking about that in your first semester. And then so by the time when you get to Thailand, you probably have some data with you. You probably have already got your topic with you. And what you will need to do is to put everything together, test different hypotheses, and to talk to your teachers and your teammates in order to finalize your whole consultancy project. So you will spend and of course our service partner in Thailand will also provide additional help for you while you're additional academic support to you while you're in Thailand. So you will be working out a proposal in a very interesting in a place where you will be able to experience South Asia, different parts of the world, and be able to really spend time with scholars in Thailand, and eventually, really, we will gather together again by the end of the program, in which you will be presenting your report to our stakeholders, to our colleagues, and really we will be celebrating the completion of your program together in Thailand before we all go back to our own home countries. Right. So I think I have already covered really the important parts of this program, and again I would say this is a very attractive program in the sense that this is very unique, a combination of different experience, a very large scale transcontinental travel experience. Here I just want to talk about the operational details. So when you join the program, once you pay the tuition fees, you will just need to focus on really the academic part. You don't really need to worry about like accommodation, travel, or food and meals, because these will all be covered by the program. So once you join the program, your accommodation will be arranged by the universities, by us, or by the University of Saskatchewan in Canada, or by our service partner in Thailand. So you will be living on campus. You will be living very closely with your classmates. So that is really a very important experience for you to build network and connections. Your classmates may potentially be your partners in your business adventure eventually, or your career. So this is another very attractive part of the program. You really spend 1 year not just with your teachers, but really with a very energetic class, group of people, young people who aspire to take leadership role in public services. Your accommodation is covered by your tuition fees. Your flight from your home country to Canada, and also from Canada to Hong Kong, and then from Hong Kong to Thailand will all be covered by the program. Again, these are all included in the tuition fee that you will pay us. And eventually, after finishing your program in Thailand, we also cover your return flight to your home countries. And also, while you were in different places, your transportation, key transportation courses will be covered by the program too. So it is like an all-inclusive program. It allows you to really focus on your academic, your studies, making networks, and experience different places. And all the troubles will be handled by our program administrative staffs. Right. The only thing that you might probably need to do is your visa. The visa, when you come to Hong Kong, if you need a visa, our university will help you to get your visa from your home country to Hong Kong. University of Saskatchewan will also help you to apply for your own student visa. If you need that, well, obviously you will need that to travel and study in Canada. And essentially, what you might also need to do is that you will have to obtain your own visa to Thailand by yourself. That will be what we call the Category F visa. You will have to arrange it yourself. But otherwise, for you to come to Hong Kong, for you to come to Canada, you will receive full support from the program. And of course, we will also guide you to acquire your own visa to Thailand too. So what is the tuition fees? The tuition fee, after including everything, I think is at a very reasonable level at $450,000. And this tuition fee, again, as I said, is all inclusive. So including your academic courses, but also all the associated courses for you to travel to different places. These are all included. We designed this tuition fee because we think that, well, it will be important for us to include everything in tuition fee instead of like separating everything, separating the items and then charge them one by one. That would not be, that would somehow distract you from your learning. So when we offer these tuition fees, this is an all-inclusive tuition fees. You get everything basically needed. Your accommodation in Canada, Hong Kong, and Thailand, your local transportation costs in Canada, Hong Kong, and Thailand, cultural activities will be all covered. university travel and medical insurance in Canada, Hong Kong, and Thailand. And even your meals in Canada will be covered by your tuition. So you will have your meals covered. You will have your meals in the student halls at the University of Saskatchewan, and this is also covered by the tuitions that you are going to pay. And so this is like a hassle-free experience. You join the program, you enjoy the experience, and then get challenged by the academic and cultural experience. So for the program, this is a list of the team members. Of course, this program is going to be taught by many different colleagues. And so far, these are the program development teams. As you can see, we involve the representative from the University of Saskatchewan, but also our own colleagues here in Hong Kong. So this is the team is by itself international, but also I hope that when you join us, you will also get an international experience by traveling and learning, traveling to different countries and learning from people from different countries. All right, so requirements. So if you're interested in joining this program, you will need a recognized bachelor degree, preferably in social science discipline, but really we are open to students from different disciplines, especially if you have some working experience in the public sector, you are all welcome to submit your application to the program. There is a requirement in terms of your award classification. So you will need to, in your bachelor degree, you will need to receive, you have to attain an honor with not lower than the second class, or an average grade point average not lower than grade B. And also, if you're obtaining your degree from university in mainland China, you will have to provide an online verification report of higher education qualification certificate issued by the CHSI, which is the link of the organization is provided here. So you will have to obtain third-party verification of your degrees. And also, if you're obtaining your degree from university outside Hong Kong, you will have to obtain a report for qualification assessment of your education qualification from the Hong Kong Council for Accreditation of Academic and Vocational Qualification through the link that I provide here. Now, again, this is not really that urgent. When you are interested in applying for our program, you will get all this information from our colleagues. And also, there will be an English requirement. This is the university minimum English proficiency requirement. It will be IELTS 6.4, 6.5 with a minimum of 6.0 in each part, or other equivalent qualification like TOEFL's, So again, you will find this requirement more details from our websites. Right, right now, we have not opened our application website yet. And indeed, when you are submitting your application, you will be submitting your application to the University of Saskatchewan, our Canadian collaborator, directly. But in the meantime, I would suggest that you pay attention to the details of the program or you explore our program by clicking the link here. www.eduhk.com APS MIPMA. So we call this program MIPMA, and take a look at the content and the details that I described just now, and consider whether you are interested in the program, and feel free to express your interest to join the program by sending inquiries or questions to our colleagues using the email address here. Now, one concern that I know from some of you probably would be that, well, now this program is scheduled to start in January 2022, and some of you probably will ask, well, by then we might not know whether the international travel will resume due to the pandemic. We understand that we are living in a very uncertain time, but please be assured that we will be very careful we'll pay close attention to the changing travel condition internationally, and we will when we were able to make offer to you, we will be crystal clear that everything will be feasible before we make offer to you. So for the time being, I think you will just need to, what you will need to do is to really explore the program and to see whether you are interested in pursuing a program like this. And again, please be assured that we will pay, we'll be very careful in managing, we'll be observing the changing travel arrangement very closely and make very careful decision. But before you don't really need to pay anything before you really accept our offer. So I would say that, well, if you're interested, by all means, talk to our colleagues and pay attention to the to our recruitment schedule, which we will announce very soon. So so thank you very much. I think I will finish my talk here.